To N2's pneumatic top label applicator. I'll go into some common troubleshooting and realignment and readjustment issues. Okay, so this is my X-axis adjustment point on my top labeler. This will bring this entire labeling mechanism back or left to right, if you will, okay? So in and out. So if I am getting a label to go onto the can without, and it's not centered left and right, then I can adjust this in or out. So clockwise to bring it towards me, counterclockwise to go in. And you can make adjustments on the fly with this. If your label, like I said, if it is placing it to the left of your can, away from you, then bring it towards you. If it's labeling the opposite, then bring it away from you. Up here, I have my Y-axis, which is my height adjustment. This will be used when changing can sizes. And what you want to do is you'll come into your screen and you will hit labeling cylinder, which will activate your label head. What I want to do is jack this thing up to where I can fit a can with a CR lid underneath of it. And then I want to bring the can down to it. And I want just enough pressure to where I cannot move the can by hand. It is stationary, having enough pressure to apply the label. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about our conveyor rails, our guide rails here on our conveyor. Very important that we kind of make a funnel for the can to roll down. As the can is coming down the conveyor belt, the labeling action is triggered by proximity sensors. So if that sensor is hitting the can in different areas, your label is going to be placed on your can in different spots due to the proximity sensor. So if we can create a funnel with our guide rails, then that can will hit in the exact same position every time and trigger that proximity sensor to hit at the same time every time. In return, you will get a more consistent label. And to do that, we're going to come over. We have two adjustments here. I can go up and down with these knobs here. If I untwist this knob, I can raise and lower this, okay? These knobs up top, if I undo them, I can go in and out. And so what I mean by a funnel is I want it to start wide and kind of narrow in. I want to make sure that my can flows all the way through without getting stuck, but I also don't want wiggle room side to side. So once you have found the sweet spot, go ahead and lock those back in and you're good to go. One of our most common troubleshooting problems that we have with our top label applicator is our bottle stop not catching the can in the right spot or the same spot every time. To correct this issue, I need to come into our manual screen here, okay? I am going to, number one, start off with bottle splitting number 1, and I'm going to turn that on, which will retract the bottle splitter, allowing the conveyor to be free flowing. Then I come into my conveying position. When I hit conveying position, it is going to turn the conveyor belt on, and it is going to stop the can where it would be stopped in normal production. So I'm going to hit conveying position. If my can gets caught over here compared to where my bottle stop is, and I hit bottle positioning cylinder on, it is going to, right as it sits right now, it would dent my can. This will grab the can and actually dent it where it's at. So in order to fix that, I have a proximity sensor back here. This proximity sensor needs to be, I have a green number and a red number, okay? This green number and red number need to be very close. At this one, I have set at 90 and 37. Yours might be a little bit different, but we need to keep that same kind of distance between the numbers, okay? That means that it's very sensitive when those numbers are close, meaning that it will consistently hit in the same spot just about every single time the closer those numbers are together, okay? So when I hit conveying position again, once I've dialed that in, then you can adjust your sensor back and forth, or you can adjust your bottle stop back and forth. So as I can see right now, I am not completely centered on my can, so I want to take this adjustment knob. I'm going to loosen these knobs here, basically locking that in place. I'm going to loosen those so that I can turn this, and I'm going the opposite way. I want to go this way with it. Okay. Once I can see that I'm going to be centered, I can then test and make sure that I'm grabbing the can where I want it. And then I can go ahead and lock these back in. So if that is right, all is good, you can take that off and we're ready to go.